good day. I'm Eng Shu Wei, and this is our Enhancing Employability in Marketing Employer Research interview presentation. Before I start, let me introduce you my group members that we have actually conduct this interview together. We have Kok Ken, How Wei, Yuen Yin, and Cheexheng. So these are my group members where we have conduct our interview together. Before I start, please allow me to actually go through our agenda for today's interview. So these 6 components are the components that we are going to cover for this presentation. Begin with introductions, where I will talk about the company's background, the persons that we have interviewed. Then followed by employer expectations, the job requirements for freshly graduates and also the candidates that are going to sit for the interview. Moving on with the recruitment process, the job and career options, and also the conclusions for the whole presentation. So, as for introductions, the company that we have introduced is actually a Huawei company from China. So let me talk about the Huawei's company background. Huawei is actually a global information and communications technology solutions provider, where they are actually providing the Wi-Fi equipments like for companies like TMNet Malaysia, Celcom, DG, and etc. Also, they are also the top 1 telecommunications solutions provider. Huawei is ranked number 3 in their mobile devices, competing with Samsung. So, the persons that we have chosen to interview is their Vice Director, Human Huawei Global Payroll Shared Service Center person in charge, and she is Ms. Gina Ong. She has 11 years of working experience in Huawei, managing all the human resource processing activities. So, based on our interview, the 3 main components that we have actually identified based on the employer expectations is the initiative from the candidates, their willingness to learn, and their attitude being a candidate to be employed. So based on the initiative that we have actually interviewed and find out is, initiative take place when a candidate would like to increase their core values, where they are being alert to their surroundings, such as their job scope, their tasks, the environment, their initiative in taking up all the elements that are going to happen around their working place. So, having an initiative in a person could actually help them in increasing their values as employees, also their development in their career and their path in becoming a successful candidates and being an outperformed candidates. So, having an initiative itself is just not enough, where the candidate, they actually have to bear an attitude and have the willingness to learn. What do I mean by willingness to learn? Employees have to have the initiative to actually work extra mile instead of just staying on what they actually do, just focusing on their job scope and doesn't even bother about what is happening to their surroundings. So if let's say the employees is lacking of their willingness to learn attitude, they will actually left behind and they will just stay at the same place over and over again, working at the same positions. So having an initiative and willingness to learn actually create an advantage to a person, to a candidate, where it definitely will increase their value to bring them into a further future path. And they could actually have a clearer goal to the directions they are moving towards. So having the 2 itself, it's also not enough to be a successful or a good candidate to be employed. What they need is actually a person with good attitude. What do I mean by a person with good attitude? A person with good attitude is actually a person who actually have the good sense of working along with people, like for example working with colleagues. They have to be a good team player with good personality, good learning attitude, good learning character to actually outperform themselves in their work. For example, like when they are working together as a team, they must have a good attitude in dealing or liaising with their employers, their heads, or their subordinates to actually carry out the whole task is given. So, working with company like Huawei, they are actually a very big company where they are actually globalize their work or globalize their company. It's actually a globalizing company. You have to have the good initiative, good attitude, you have a willingness to learn in order to work with a big company like Huawei. Because the challenges that the company or the work activities that they're going to portray as the candidate for them is actually they have to take out a lot of unexpected challenges. At the same time, they have to work extra miles, work at odd hours, working at the very competing environment, in a hassle environment. So the candidate, in order for you to actually work in a company or big company like that, you must be able to have fulfill these 3 criteria in order to work with them. Because in order for you to be successful and gain an appropriate experience in your working life, you actually have to be able to flexibilize yourself in working with different environment, with different people. So this is what our employers is expected when you went out and work. No matter, regardless the company is a big company, small firms, or any forms of business background they have, you must have these 3 essentials components in yourself in order to be employed. So now I'll pass on my interview and continue the presentations to Cheexheng in presenting the next point. Thank you.
Thank you, Shu Wei, for the presentation. Now I would like to continue its job requirement. The 3 things that are important is communication skill, thinking process, and experience in the workplace. Communication skill is very important is because it can secure an interview to get the job and do your job well and advance in your career. Communication skill is very important because it makes a good image of us and it get the job easily. The second job requirement is thinking process, and it makes us self-improvement, and because it can make us a good member, team player in a group work and with a creative mindset. Of course, with this requirement, we can solve problems fast and easy. For the third requirement is experience. Huawei provide internship as well in sales and marketing department. They will carry through university, college to select their candidates. The benefits of internship is it can make your resume look good. A person that have a good experience, it enhance the application form, and during the interview, it can make yourself more employable. Now I will pass it to How Wei.
Okay. Thank you, Cheexheng, for the presentation. Now I will talk about the ideal candidate for employer. The ideal candidate for Miss Gina is very perfect because she is the last interviewer for Huawei. The candidate must have a very good attitude because a candidate with a good attitude, it will determine the altitude of their life. Then the candidate also must have a positive mindset. A candidate with a positive mindset, they will be able to boost their team morale and it will make them more efficient during their working time. Third is candidate also must able to take up challenges that given by the employer. Huawei is an international organization that require their employee to work around the clock and work at odd hours. Then now we'll talk about the expectation from the candidates. Due to Huawei is an international organization, their expectation from the candidate is very high. This is why the candidates needs to be a fast learner. Why they have to be a fast learner? Because they have to work around the clock and work at odd hours, and no one will be there to guide them. This is why they have to be a fast learner. Then, second is they have to be very efficient. If they are not efficient enough, they won't able to get promoted quickly. The third is they must be very proactive, because when the candidates doesn't know anything, they just sit there and don't ask. If they just sit there and don't ask, the answer won't come to them immediately. They must go and search for the answer. Then the fourth is the candidates should not have the doesn't care behavior, because if they have this behavior, they won't able to grab the opportunities to get promoted. And then next is the advantages of getting hired into Huawei. So first of all, the interviewer will look at 3 things in your resume. The first one is the CGPA, the second one is the profile picture, the third one is the university that you study in. As for the CGPA, of course, the higher is the better, and you will get more attention from them. The second is your profile picture. If your profile picture is very tidy and presentable, it will add more advantage for you. The third one is the university that you study in. The better university you study in, the more chances you get in higher. There are more chances that you are getting hired by them. And then Huawei does not look at your extra curriculum in your resume, because they are a private organization. They don't look at that. Only the government organization, they will look at that. Thank you, and now we'll pass the presentation to Kok Ken.
So thank you, How Wei. So now I'm going to talk about the recruitment process. As mentioned by Shu Wei earlier, Ms. Gina is actually the final interviewer. So her job is basically to ask back the candidate what they had learned and been taught by the previous interviewers. If the candidates are able to answer the questions, then there will be a 1+ point for them. Besides that, they also need to able to answer who they are going to be in future. So for the recruitment process, they will go through job streets. Key positions will go through the recruitment companies. For fresh graduates, they will go through campus recruitment. So moving on to the next slide, efficiency or creativity come first. For Ms. Gina, efficiency comes first, as the candidates needs to understand and learn from their job scope, then only come up with creativities. Employees with efficiencies can gain trust from their superiors so that they can carry out their job independently and being promoted sooner because the efficiency way of their doing jobs. So now I'm going to pass the presentations to Rennie.
Thank you, Kok Ken. So now I'm going to proceed with the job options. Marketing is one of the most popular courses in Malaysia, as it offers various career options once you earn your marketing degree. Based on our interview, the job options that are available for marketing fresh graduates are marketing research, public relations, market analysis, marketing executive, and more. Furthermore, according to a research conducted by JobStreet, there are 60% of them want to be paid 3,500 for their first job, and there are 30% of them want to be paid as high as 6,500. It seems like nowadays, fresh graduates are demanding more than what they deserve. However, the average salary for fresh graduates in Malaysia are
between 2,100 to 2,500. But Huawei is different. They are offering 2,800 basic and extra allowance such as mobile and petrol allowance for degree holders. And for master holder, there's only 200 extra in their basic salary. Therefore, Ms. Gina had advised us not to proceed our master courses directly once we graduate from degree. We should start work first in order to gain more experience to proceed to our master course. In conclusion, we have identified the most important element in enhancing our employability, as Ms. Gina had created and emphasized that she encouraged all the fresh graduates to be initiative, proactive, and learn. Candidates have to ask if you not sure anything or don't know how to do or what to do. And candidates should avoid waiting for the solutions. They should be initiative to find out the solutions and solve the problem. Thank you. That's all for our presentation.